Hey, what's good, everyone? Kyle Henderson along with Mick Gillispie. This is the BamaInsider Tailgate Show coming to you from Innisfree in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Week 1 of the college football season is here. Alabama, Utah State. The BamaInsider Tailgate Show starts now.
The Bama Football Tailgate Show, brought to you by Bama Insider and On3 Sports Network, is on the air. The Crimson Tide are rolling, and we got you covered with a breakdown of the game matchup, an SEC preview, and all the fun of a game day on the quad. Broadcasting each home game from the Strip in Tuscaloosa. With Bama Insider and On3 Sports Network experts weekly like Kyle Henderson, Andrew Bone, and Clint Lamb, and more. National championship quarterback Jay Barker, and hosted by former Crimson Tide Sports Network's broadcaster and SEC Network award-winning voice, Mick Gillispie. The Bama Insider Tailgate Show is presented by Yuengling Lager. Yuengling, America's oldest brewery, the best way to host a Bama tailgate party. Pearl River Resort Casino and Hotel in Choctaw, Mississippi. Let's play. Now featuring the Sports Book at the Timeout Lounge. Also brought to you by the Floribama world-famous Beach Bar and Lounge in Orange Beach. Genesis of Tuscaloosa. Luxury with a national championship service department. Visit Sevierville.com. Your Smokies start here. Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Hyundai, the longer you look, the more there is to like. Innisfree, an Alabama Irish pub tradition. Visit Tuscaloosa. Not too small, not too big. Tuscaloosa is pronounced just right. Owa Theme Park and Resort in Foley, Alabama. NewLifeArt.com, publisher of fine art editions by Daniel A. Moore. Screwball, the original peanut butter whiskey. R&R Cigar, home of the Victory Cigar, with 2 locations in Tuscaloosa and Northport. Unique on the Strip. Cathead Distillery, proudly distilling award-winning spirits since 2010.
What do you say, everybody? With Kyle Henderson, I'm Mick Gillispie. It's time for the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. It's brought to you by Yuengling Lager, America's oldest brewery. And for the next 2 hours, we'll preview number 1 Alabama versus Utah State, 6:30 at Bryant-Denny Stadium. It's the 2022 season opener. On today's show, we got a great list of guests. Thom Abraham from 97.7 ESPN The Zone, the flagship affiliate of North Alabama Crimson Tide football on the radio. We got Jim Hopwood, the director of the sports book at Pearl River Resort. Andrew Bone jumps in from BamaInsider.com to update us on recruiting. We'll talk to Stan Adams from Visit Tuscaloosa, Clint Lamb from On3, and my partner here, Kyle Henderson. What's up, dude? You look great.
Man, it is so good to be back to the college football season. I said on Wednesday night, when the season ends, there's such a sad feeling because it takes so long. But here we are, Alabama, Utah State, week 1 in beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Actually, here at Innisfree, we just saw some Utah State fans roll into town. It wasn't a couple of seasons ago that you had another set of Aggies come in that was the New Mexico State Aggies. Now, Utah State, what they present is kind of that rat poison because they like to spread you out. They have a pretty good quarterback, and Nick Saban was pretty adamant last night. Don't take the rat poison. You have to focus on Utah State, get that job done play by play. Can't focus on that Texas game. That's for people like us to talk about. But we're here to talk about Alabama football, and thank you so much for joining us. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. We appreciate you guys.
Guys, we got so much going on. 6 to 8 every Friday night. You can watch the sausage being made, right, at Innisfree or wherever we are. Next week we'll be at Floribama down in Orange Beach for the show, and then statewide network on Saturday from the top of the state to the bottom of the state. Roll Tide, thank you for being a part of the show. And don't forget, join us at BamaInsider.com. Right now, $1 gets you 12 months. Now that we've made the switch, we joined the New World Order. I'm sorry, we joined On3. It might as well be the New World Order. We want you guys to join us as well for life, right? All right, welcome back to the show. We got a lot of new sponsors. We got all of our old sponsors back. Great to have OWA, the theme park down in Foley, Cathead Distillery. We'll be doing some drinks with them this year. And the biggest news, Kyle, is we're part of On 3, man. How did this all happen? I mean, you got to tell everybody how we got here.
Yeah, I don't even know if you can see my shirt, my swag, if you can see the On 3 swag. And I think I have to stand up a little bit. So we are part of the On 3 network. So basically, Bama Insider joined On 3. We are no longer part of Rivals. After 16 great years, personally, for myself, being with Rivals, we're now part of On 3, a network that Shannon Terry has built up. You know, he built up Rivals. He built up 24/7. This is the remaining and the last component, of that dynasty is On 3. So we're really excited to be a part of On 3. Andrew Bone, we have Chris Dotch, we have Mick Gillispie, but also joined by some great names at Bama Insider: Clint Lamb, Joseph Hastings, Jimmy Stein. It's a really great network to be a part of. They continue to add on different elements that I think are really going to take us to the next level. So when we thought about joining On 3, it was really a no-brainer. And I think you want that dog mentality. You want to be with the best. And that's something that I really respect about Shannon Terry. If anybody knows anything about me, I want to be the best. I'm a dog. I want to be competing with the best. I want only the best for my staff, for everybody that's a part of it. So it really made sense for us to join On 3. So definitely check out the website, calling all Alabama Crimson Tide football fans to check it out. Happy to be here on the Tailgate Show with Mick Gillispie, Chris, excited to talk some college football.
Yeah, Kyle, great to see you again. And it's always awesome being here with Tripp and the gang at Innisfree. They make us feel at home. Our remote is brought to you by Screwball, the original peanut butter whiskey. We're going to do a Screwball shot. We're going to save it for the last segment, Kyle.
That sounds good.
Yeah, we probably need to get through the show before we start doing shots. So that'll be something that we have coming up that we'll enjoy. And if you're over 21, you can follow us at home and join us in doing a shot as well. It's the first shot of 2022. All right, let's talk about 2022. Recap, the mentality that Alabama had last year. I thought that team last year gave their all. They just about won the national championship. They dealt with some injuries, but they were, as Nick Saban said, it part of a rebuilding. The mentality and the leadership of this year's group feels like they're not rebuilding anymore. They're there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people got really excited when he said that Alabama was rebuilding last year. But when you look to the roster of last year, who were their leaders on that specific team? And you have Bryce Young and you have William Anderson, both sophomores last year. Well, I think when you enter this season in 2022, they have that leadership down. They have that continuity, that cohesiveness. I talked about that this morning on my morning walk and talk, is that entering this season, the leadership is already there. You want to follow guys like William Anderson and Bryce Young into the season. What do both of those guys have in common? Well, they're going to be top 5 draft picks. Also, Alabama returns Bill O'Brien and Pete Golding. I think that's very underrated. And over the past couple of years since I've been here, you've always had a new OC or a new DC. So returning each of those guys also adds a lot of cohesiveness to the offense and defense. It's Nick Saban's organization, and I think from head to toe, what's really been impressive about this team despite the last couple of years, and how much has college football changed, right? You have NIL, you have the transfer portal. Nick Saban has continued to ride the waves of college football, still at the pinnacle of the college football spectrum, and this team is absolutely loaded. The ultimate goal, as we always know every year, is a national championship. This team knows that. It's not rat poison. Those are the expectations of this team. It starts tomorrow against Utah State.
Yeah, we're going to get into this later on, but Coach Saban doesn't like it when you overlook an opponent, right? Or, I mean, if, Chris, you want to play it now, I guess we could show Kyle, let's just hold that on for later. Coach made some comments. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but, guys, it is great to have you here on the Bama Insider Tailgate Show, getting you ready for Alabama and Utah State. The kickoff is at 6:30. And the Crimson Tide are the number 1 team in the country. Number 1 in both polls, number 1 in recruiting right now. We'll talk to Andrew Bone about recruiting coming up. Well, Kyle, you just mentioned it, right? You said, hey, Pete Golding and Bill O'Brien are coming back. What are you expecting on the field in today's game, and what are you excited about seeing? And then I want to kind of transition into having both coordinators return.
I love the transfer portal talk. I mean, this summer – we talked about the transfers coming in, and watch Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs is Alabama's running back. Flashes. I was talking to Clint Lamb, our team rider. He said flashes of Alvin Kamara. Some people say Kenyon Drake. When you're mentioned along those lines of athletes, you're like, my goodness, really? So, yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs, I think, is certainly going to be a game breaker. Comes from Georgia Tech, has everything that you want in a speed-type running back. You have Jermaine Burton, who transferred from Georgia to Alabama, won a natty with the Bulldogs, played against Alabama last year, now wants to be with a quarterback that can take him to that next level. When we talk about next level, we talk about playing on Sundays, right? You have Tyler Steen, who's going to be an offensive tackle, who's also starting for the Alabama Crimson Tide. And I think from the transfer standpoint on the offensive side, those are the guys that we're looking at. There's some other storylines that we're curious to look at. Trayshawn Holden looks to have his emergence of a career now, a junior with the Alabama Crimson Tide. I think he could be a receiver that is really exciting. And then freshman Kobe Prentice. They say freshmen don't play at Alabama. Well, there's 2 freshmen that are going to start. You have Kobe Prentice on the offensive side, and then Jaheim Otis, who is a big nasty, right, down in the trenches. I don't even know how much he weighs anymore. It's like 350, whatever it is. Who cares? I mean, I love what he's bringing to the table. So watch for Jaheim Otis, a freshman, defensive tackle, down in the trenches, and then you have Kobe Prentice on the offensive side of the ball, your speed slot. So a lot of storylines to track tomorrow. Alabama, the 41.5 favorite. Don't take the rat poison. Do take it, whatever. Alabama's coming to play tomorrow in the week 1 opener.
I'm excited. Look, this is what it's all about. Alabama back out on the field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. And Kyle, Bill O'Brien and Pete Golding are back. We got like 30 seconds. What does that mean for the team? Just quickly.
I think that means that this team knows what they have to do, right? Every single year, you know what you have to do. But when your OC and your DC return, it's back to business. Alabama knows what they have to do. It starts with Utah State. Big favorite. If you're out there, you want to take the points, why not roll with the Crimson Tide?
The Bama Insider Tailgate Show is brought to you by Pearl River Resort and Casino in Choctaw. Now is a great time to make your picks count at the Timeout Sports Lounge and Sports Book. Just there yesterday, threw in a couple of bets, feeling pretty good about life. Alabama has extended Nick Saban. What does that mean for the Tide? We talk about that next. More Bama Insider Tailgate Show coming up.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Celebrate the Tide's legacy of championships with Daniel A. Moore's latest creation, The Legacy Begins. A tribute to the 1926 Rose Bowl victory over Washington, putting Southern football on the map and establishing the unmatched legacy of Alabama's national titles. New Life Art is offering The Legacy Begins in a variety of formats that will fit any budget. Remember the Rose Bowl with these and other fine art gift items available now at danielmooreart.com or by calling 1-800-735-2787.
Tuscaloosa is Alabama's ultimate sports destination and a place for outdoor enthusiasts to thrive. It's a community rooted in history and one that's on the cusp of a burgeoning art scene too. Tuscaloosa is vibrant, it's charming, and it's familiar. Its people welcome you with open arms and warm hellos into a community that's tied together. Tuscaloosa is our home.
Touchdown! Hey guys, look at me. Now look at yourselves. I make the big plays and the big games. You don't. Yeah, you would have made All-State if Coach put you in. Keep telling that story, or you can actually play the game. The sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino puts you in the starting lineup. I'll still be making the plays, you'll be making the bets. And finally getting the sports glory you deserve. The sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. Play the game.
It's Bulls on the Beach time at the world-famous Flora-Bama. Every September, the Flora-Bama welcomes professional bull riders from across the country with one goal in mind: staying on the back of a 2,000-pound bull for 8 seconds.
We've got a qualified bull.
It's 3 big nights of adrenaline-filled excitement, September 8th through the 10th. Single-night tickets are available now, but hurry, this event sells out every year. It's Bulls on the Beach time at the world-famous Flora-Bama. Get your Bulls on the Beach tickets now at florabama.com.
There's a new place where thrill meets chill, where the fun is always tropical cool, inside and out. The park at OWA is now Tropic Falls Theme Park, joined by the all-new indoor water park now open. Come to OWA and experience Tropic Falls. It's like nothing you've ever seen, with 23 theme park rides and 11 new indoor water park slides, complete with lazy river and arcade. All at Tropic Falls, only at OWA Parks and Resorts. Buy your tickets online and save at visitowa.com.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Do you consider yourself a black sheep, misfit, or screwball? If so, we've got the perfect drink for you. Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Screwball combines 2 of America's favorite, peanut butter and whiskey. Enjoy it neat, on the rocks, or in your favorite cocktail. Screwball, the original most awarded peanut butter whiskey, is now available near you. Go to screwballwhiskey.com for more information. Enjoy responsibly.
Advertisement by Screwball Spirits, LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
Welcome back to Innisfree in Tuscaloosa. Great to have you with us on the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. Today's remote is brought to you by Screwball, the original peanut butter whiskey, and our presenting partner is Innisfree, here with free swag. We've been giving away the free stuff as you hang out with us, getting ready for Alabama and Utah State. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show, and we talk Alabama football with Kyle Henderson. I'm Mick Gillispie. Guys, as you hang out with us on the net, if you're here on the YouTube channel, like, subscribe, and give us a thumbs up. If you're listening across the state of Alabama or wherever you might be, check us out and be part of what we do, and that's cover Alabama every single day. Highest paid coach in college football, Nick Saban. Every time someone gets ahead of him, Kyle, they reconvene and they change that.
I mean, no one's ever going to be ahead of Nick Saban. I think payment-wise, I mean, and he even talks about it. I mean, he doesn't set the standard for what people pay him. Yeah, I mean, the thing about Nick Saban is, I mean, you could look at his salary. You could look at what he's done, over the course since he's been in Tuscaloosa. But I think what's really incredible is the impact that he's had on the entire economy. This city would not be what it is if it wasn't for Nick Saban. And one of the best things that Nick Saban is going to leave, besides the national championships and the stature outside the stadium, is the impact that he's going to make for the youth for decades to come. The things that him and Miss Terry continue to put back is really incredible, and I think commendable to two people that have really set the standard for giving back. Their philanthropy, I think, is very important. I think that's what's going to ultimately we're going to remember him by, right? Along with the national championships, clearly, but I think him and Miss Terry have really set the standard, and I think it's really incredible. And for him to continue to have these raises, it's never going to be enough. You're never going to be able to pay Nick Saban enough. And how he pays Alabama back is the philanthropy and also the national championship. So going in this year, #1 again, and what he's done since 2006 or whatever, since he's been here, has just been phenomenal. And it hasn't stopped, and he's continued to evolve with the game. I think that's the most important thing.
Talking to Alabama, Utah State as the Crimson Tide will open up here in Tuscaloosa. And I want to remind you guys that the Bama Insider Tailgate Show is brought to you by Yuengling Lager. Yuengling, a 6th-generation company. And Cheryl Yuengling, who's part of the company's ownership, a proud Alabama grad. And she puts a little bit of crimson love in each one of these green bottles, although that one is empty. Coach Saban, Kyle, he signed his contract through February 2030. Is he going to coach out this contract? I mean, the guy's 70 right now.
I'm going to say yes. I mean, why not? I mean, you look at Coach Saban and you look in the comment box every time we post a press conference and people are like, if we get to 7 years old, I hope I look like him. He has the fire. He has the energy. And I think he basically said, because people always ask him about his retirement, and he says, as long as he's able to contribute at a very high level and give back to the university cognitively and everything that he does schematically for the team, I think he's going to continue to do it. Why not? Why would you not want Nick Saban? I think he's so good at, understanding that this is who he is. He's found what he clearly loves to do, what he was meant to do. And I think just recently when they were talking about kind of the process and what he does and how he enjoys that process, that is why he's going to stick around. He likes getting ready. He likes gearing up for practice. He likes coaching film. He likes game days. You got to have that type of mentality for anything that you do in life. And I think if you can find that and you can hone in on it, then you're going to have a fruitful life chasing what you want to do. Coach Saban is the best, but he loves the process. So if you can love the process of what you do in life, it doesn't matter what kind of line of work you're in, whether you're a plumber, electrician, whatever you do in life, if you can really hone in and be the best at that, then you're going to do well. Coach Saban just happens to be the greatest college football coach of all time.
Kyle, I love the message in the comment section, and Richard Hayes is talking about the New World Order. I made a comment that On 3 is the New World Order. Richard, I'm not talking about a political agenda. I'm talking about Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And
mix of wrestling guy.
The Hawkster, right? The Outsiders, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, Buff Bagwell, Six-Pac. It was a wrestling reference from 20 years ago. But I used to watch all those wrestling matches when I was in school here at Alabama. So
the best thing about the wrestlers was those the rubber figurines. They were probably like this size.
I love those things. I had the ring and everything.
I have a couple. I actually have the Andre the Giant one. Who did it?
I got those for Christmas one year.
Yeah.
I swear. It was Hogan and Andre the Giant came in the tag team pack.
Yeah.
And then I had Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov, as I digress. But look, let's get back to the Nick Saban mentality, because I'm looking over at Chris, our producer. He has no idea what we're talking about right now. I know, he's a little guy. Well, I don't know about this wrestling. Look, the Nick Saban mentality when facing an underdog like Utah State. Chris, if you have that clip of Nick Saban, now would be a good time to play it. He made a comment yesterday at Hey Coach, and I think all of you guys should listen.
So I encourage everybody, be positive and, create a legacy for what we want to do this season. And you contribute to it in a positive way. All right, not in what I read, these guys write all the time, all right, about, all right, how can Alabama run the table? I mean, well, can't you figure out something better to do than that? I mean, come on. We got to play one game at a time, all right? So how can Alabama lose to this team? How can this team beat Alabama 3 months from now? Who gives a shit? I mean, how about this game? How about the church of what's happening now? All right, like now. Can we focus on what's happening now? How come no one's interested in that? Why do we have to go all the way? Anyway.
There he is. You heard it right there. Hey, we're going to have to beep that out for radio, by the way, Chris.
Really? You can't say shit?
I don't know. Beep. I don't know. But Nick Saban just said
you have to beep it out twice because I just said it.
But that's what he just said. And when he gets fired up like that, we all just stop and listen. And you heard what the man said.
I mean, he's right. Everyone, I think, how many times have over the course of the summer has everybody just asked about the Texas game or the Texas A&M game? And I've always told people, I'm like, look, those are intriguing storylines. I can't wait to get to Austin to talk about Texas. But in that locker room, in that organization, as soon as you enter those facilities, it's Utah State. And it wasn't even Utah State up until a week before Utah State. It was about fall camp. And that's what Nick Saban's able to do, is you got to set your mind right to be able to focus on the thing that is clearly right in front of you. And I think that emulates to life. Like, you can't look at things that might happen way down the road. You have to focus on the things that are right in front of you at that time. So Nick Saban going up against Utah State, I mean, I promise you, none of these guys are thinking about going to Texas tonight. I guarantee you they're not. They're focused on taking care of the Utah State Aggies, and that's what he's continuing to do. And you can't take the rat poison and focus on all these other games that you're not there yet, right? This is a long season. It's a gauntlet of a season. You have to focus on the task that's at hand, and that's Utah State.
Utah State's 1-0, and last year they had a really good year as well. I mean, they're not going to be a total pushover, but Kyle, the line's 41.5 in favor of Alabama.
Yeah, that's a ton of points. I think. What is the total of this game? 62. Okay.
62.
So they're probably expecting Utah State to score a few times. I mean, look, I think that Alabama is going to come out guns blazing, and I think the difference maker is going to be Jahmyr Gibbs. I think the fact, when you look to the fact that UConn's running back rushed for 160 yards and he was gashing Utah State, Alabama is going to be able to do whatever. And I think the message is going to be set from the get-go about this offensive line, because Nick Saban, their offensive line has been criticized again and again and again. So I think they'll allow for an opportunity to get that running game going. And then as soon as Utah State tries to crowd the box, I think Bryce Young is going to let it fly. I was looking at Prize Picks. Bryce Young is slated to throw for more or less 320 yards. You think he throws for over 320 yards?
Look, I think he's going to throw the ball. I think that he's going to do both. Alabama will be able to run the ball at will, right? But I still think that they'll be able to throw it. So I think that they'll be balanced. I mean, that's what Nick Saban and Bill O'Brien are going to want to do.
I think you're right. So it's important to note this. Bill O'Brien sits in the box as the OC. There's sometimes you have your OC who's down on the field. Bill O'Brien's up inside the press conference, press box rather. And I think that gives him a better – I don't understand why more OCs are up in the box, right? I know there's been a couple that have been on the ground, but whatever. My point is that I agree with you. I think they will have a balanced attack, but I think they will set the tempo for that offensive line to really solidify the run game, and I think you're going to see big numbers by Bryce Young. I'm curious to see if, there's any added elements for Jalen Milroe, right? Because people have certainly been calling for him. He's been here for a little bit of time. I'm not saying mop-up time or anything like that. I'm just saying some added elements. Maybe not. Maybe it's too early in the season, but I know people have been calling for a 6'2", 240-pound, quarterback back there. But, of course, when you have the returning Heisman Trophy winner, nothing's wrong with that, right? If it's not broke, don't fix it.
No, I've said that many times. Crimson Connection is Daniel Moore's tribute in oils to Bryce Young and Alabama's fourth Heisman Trophy winner. This full-color oil painting depicts Bryce Young's memorable Heisman-worthy go-ahead pinpoint pass to John Mechie in the corner of the end zone as Alabama dismantled the vaunted Georgia defense in the SEC championship game. Find out for yourself, and he's also got some autographed editions as well, and NIL with New Life Art. You can get them now at newlifeart.com. Guys, don't forget, like and subscribe as you hang out with us on the Bama Insider YouTube channel if you're watching. And don't forget that we're going to be on after the game on the YouTube channel with our post-game show, Bama Insider. That's the place to be as soon as the game is if it's out of hand, we'll be on in the fourth quarter. If it's close, we'll be on after the game. But check us out on the Bama Insider YouTube channel where we recap the game and do all that stuff as well. All right, when we come back, Thom Abraham, he's the host of the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone in Huntsville. He's one of the big personalities in the state of Alabama and a good guy, and he's going to be our guest when we come back. More Bama Insider Tailgate Show coming up.
Hi, Barry Buckner for Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Every Tuscaloosa Hyundai is value priced, and Tuscaloosa Hyundai doesn't add the side sticker. Side stickers mean you pay thousands more. Everything is value priced at Tuscaloosa Hyundai. No additional dealer markups. It's just that simple. So if you're tired of getting stuck with side stickers, no additional markup is why you come to Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyline and Hargrove.
R&R Cigars invites you to the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa, or the newest location in Northport in the Winn-Dixie Shopping Center. Now 2 awesome locations serving Tuscaloosa and Northport. The best cigar selection and bourbon in the Southeast awaits you. R&R Cigar is your home for all sports. Outsource your man cave to R&R. Get a cigar in Yingling for $10 when you tell them Mick sent you. 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, near Home 2 Suites, or Northport, next to Winn-Dixie. TheCigarMansion.com.
Cathead, the first legal distillery in the state of Mississippi. Founded in 2010 by friends and fellow Alabama grads Austin Evans and Richard Patrick to create small batch spirits that give the taste of the South with every sip. Best known for its flagship Cathead Vodka, Cathead Distillery produces 5 award-winning brands. Find out for yourself and pick some up for your next party or tailgate. CatheadDistillery.com.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Hey guys, look at me. Now look at yourself. I make the big plays and the big games. You don't. Yeah, you would have made All-State if Coach put you in. Keep telling that story, or you can actually play the game. The sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino puts you in the starting lineup. I'll still be making the plays, you'll be making the bets. And finally getting the sports glory you deserve. The sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. Play the game.
Autumn brings vivid colors to the back roads and hollows of Sevierville, Tennessee. Wind your way to quaint country churches, a historic covered bridge, and even a pick-your-own apple orchard. This fall, the best views are yours on Sevierville's Rocky Flats Fall Driving Tour. Learn more and find additional fall drives to enjoy at visitsevierville.com/fall.
It's Bulls on the Beach time at the world-famous Flora-Bama. Every September, the Flora-Bama welcomes professional bull riders from across the country with one goal in mind: staying on the back of a 2,000-pound bull for 8 seconds.
We've got a qualified bull.
It's 3 big nights of adrenaline-filled excitement, September 8th through the 10th. Single-night tickets are available now, but hurry, this event sells out every year. It's Bulls on the Beach time at the world-famous Flora-Bama. Get your Bulls on the Beach tickets now at florabama.com.
Celebrate the Tide's legacy of championships with Daniel A. Moore's latest creation, The Legacy Begins. A tribute to the 1926 Rose Bowl victory over Washington, putting Southern football on the map and establishing the unmatched legacy of Alabama's national titles. New Life Art is offering The Legacy Begins in a variety of formats that will fit any budget. Remember the Rose Bowl with these and other fine art gift items available now at danielmooreart.com or by calling 1-800-735-2787.
Welcome back into the Bama Insider Tailgate Show, and great to have all of you guys with us here as Alabama takes on Utah State. That's a 6:30 kick. I want to remind everyone, now that we're part of On 3, make sure that you go to BamaInsider.com and join. Right now you can get On 3, Bama On 3, for $1. $1 for a 12-month subscription. And if you're watching on the Bama Insider YouTube channel, thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up. That's a way to say Roll Tide, like, and subscribe. We got almost 80,000 subscribers. We're trying to get it to 100,000 so that we can have as many subscribers as fans at Bryant-Denny Stadium. This segment is brought to you by Visit Sevierville. This is the time you want to get up there. I'm telling you, with fall coming, it's fantastic. You got the mountains, you got all the trails. Visit Sevierville and find out more at visitsevierville.com.
Autumn brings vivid colors to the back roads and hollows of Sevierville, Tennessee. Wind your way to quaint country churches, a historic covered bridge, and even a pick-your-own apple orchard. This fall, the best views are yours on Sevierville's Rocky Flats Fall Driving Tour. Learn more and find additional fall drives to enjoy at visitsevierville.com/fall.
It's definitely getting to be that time of year. You know, when football comes, that's when the leaves start changing, and that's when you want to get up in those mountains and check it out. And then nothing better than Christmas in Sevierville. It's great to have Thom Abraham on. You guys know him from ESPN 97.7 The Zone up in Huntsville. You've been doing this for a long time, and I'm just glad I finally got you on the show. What's going on, man?
Can I just say something about Sevierville? Because that is about the prettiest spot on the planet. And you know, Mick, I have a dual life in the sports world and in the fishing world. And, you know, Douglas Lake up there, Tellico, all of those waters up there, it is absolutely spectacular. And I usually get up there once or twice a year to do some fishing and just kind of hunt around that area up there. And that is just absolutely spectacular up there.
Yeah, I've lived off of Douglas Lake in the past. That's a big spot for the Bassmasters, and it's also a really awesome place. If you have a pontoon boat, you just float out there, and you can really have some good times out on the lake. But let's talk a little Alabama football. They take on Utah State. This is a rare home opener in Tuscaloosa, but maybe it's not going to be so rare in the future, just the way the college football has changed.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And you know, Alabama's been asking their fans for years now. I think it's been 2011 was the last time I think they played at home maybe 2010, the last time that they played at home early in the season. They've been playing all of these neutral site games. They're antiseptic. I've been to a number of them. You've been to a number of them. But they're like a bowl game. It's like a bowl trip. And then we asked the fans in many years to go to Atlanta for the SEC championship game, and then 1 or 2 bowl games, a national semifinal, and in many years a championship game as well. That's a lot of travel. And the only thing that's better than opening at home against a Utah State Aggie team is opening at home against a Power 5 team. And we're going to see some of those games coming up. I've looked ahead at the schedule. It's at least 5 years out now where Alabama will not be playing in one of these neutral site games. And it's either the first game or the second game of the season that they're playing a really nice Power 5 opponent. So those non-conference games are getting better and better. Of course, we got the home and home with Texas. It will be game 2 again next year when the Texas Longhorns come in to Tuscaloosa. They'll be in the future as well as a member of the league. They have a deal with Oklahoma already. Penn State, we know the other deals that are out there. Florida State, they actually open in Tallahassee in a couple of years. So I really like this a lot. I like the fact that, look, I get it that you're going to have a couple of these paid, quote unquote, cupcake games. Although this Utah State team, they're not, it's not like it's an FCS school. They're not playing Mercer. All right, let's just go there. But, I like to see, we'd like to see some more Power 5 schools coming in. And it's going to be really exciting in the future here, Mick, to see some of these top-notch teams coming to Tuscaloosa. That really kind of adds a lot of juice to it. And in this day and age, when people aren't necessarily going in droves to see them just to see them, I think you need to have some of those types of games on campus. And I'm very glad that we're going to see more in home and homes now.
Mick Gillispie hanging with Thom Abraham from ESPN 97.7 The Zone up in Huntsville, talking Alabama football. Look, the kickoff classics, I don't know that they're dead yet, but I'm guessing that for Alabama, it's pretty close, right? Because we know that the schedule is made way, way in advance, and I don't see any more kickoff classics on there.
Well, not for the next 5 years. And I don't know that I would call them dead. But I would say that, because for the people that are playing in them, it's a big deal. I'm sure. I'm sure that they'll have a big crowd for Georgia and Oregon. I'm sure we'll see some big crowds in some of these other games. It'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow with LSU and Florida State, down in New Orleans. So these games have a place. It's gotten a little tiresome for Alabama. And let's remind folks too. I mean, Nick Saban's 15-0 in opening day games. And a lot of those games were against top-notch teams. And Mick, I can take you right back to 2008, sitting at the Georgia Dome. At the time, the Georgia Dome, they were playing a Clemson team that was a top 10 team. Mm-hmm. And Alabama was coming off of Nick's first year, and it was a 7-6 season. And, Alabama was an 8 or a 9 point underdog in that game. And they just absolutely stomped a mud hole in Clemson. And I remember just kind of looking left and right to the other guys in the press box, and I'm like, what are we seeing here? And that was the beginning, really. It ended up being a 12-0 season. They, of course, lost in the SEC championship game and stumbled their way through that Sugar Bowl against Utah, I think it was. But still, we could kind of see something happening. So it was born right there in Atlanta, but it got old after a while, no doubt.
Look, I liked it. I was at that game. I wasn't sitting with you, but we should have been hanging out, right? I remember the first play Alabama had, they threw to Julio Jones, who was like a true freshman at the time. Do you remember that? And he just like stiff-armed one of those guys. And I was like, yeah, this is not the Alabama that I'm used to here.
Yeah, it was crazy. I remember the narrative going in was how they were going to handle the Ford kid, the slot receiver for Clemson. Clemson had all the speed in the world and everything, and just Alabama mauled them. And since then they've taken off. And I remember after the West Virginia one, everybody's like, what's wrong with the Tide? They covered. I mean, they were 8 or 9 point favorites. They won the game by 10, and everybody was concerned about Alabama at that point in time and what would happen. And look, they single-handedly wrecked Florida State. Florida State hasn't been the same since they took DeAndre Francois out in the first football game at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And knocked them out of that game. That was a 1v3 game. Remember, Florida State came into that game third in the nation, and hasn't been the same since. So these games have their seminal moments. And remember the USC. Remember how USC came out and they had all that swagger going on and everything else. And and we got to learn Jalen Hurts' name in a hurry in that game as he took over about 2 series into that game for Blake Barnett. So these games have had a lot of big moments. This one tonight is not going to have those kind of moments, I don't think. I think we'll have to wait for next week for that. But certainly you want to see them play clean. You want to see a lot of guys get in the game. You want to see them be healthy throughout this game. And in a day and age where college football has no scrimmages, they have no preseason, they don't have anything like that, this is a pretty good little test. And again, this Utah State team, they didn't look great last week. I was surprised. I mean, you're not supposed to be trailing UConn by 2 touchdowns, but they, that's still a pretty fair football team, and it'll be interesting to see how they play tonight.
Hanging out with Thom Abraham from 97.7 The Zone up in Huntsville, talking Alabama football. All right, you bring up something that I feel like I just need to ask you. I don't expect it to be a game tonight either, but we are excited to see this team play. Who are you most excited to see in an Alabama uniform? It could be Bryce Young, who won the Heisman, maybe what he looks like this year, or maybe Gibbs or Bird and some of the transfers that they have, maybe some of the freshmen. Jaheim Otis is a guy that's catching a lot of attention right now. Prentice is making a bunch of plays on offense. Who do you want to see in this game?
Well, I start with the offensive line. I want to see Tyler Steen, because last year I thought it was an unusual year in as much as that the offensive line was porous at times. I mean, let's just be honest. They were 126th in negative plays allowed, tackles for loss allowed. Amazingly, they didn't give up 1 in that game against Georgia in the SEC championship game. But I want to see a different looking offensive line here. And Tyler Steen coming from Vanderbilt. I want to see what he looks like at left tackle. And, Kendall Randolph is a kid. In North Alabama, we covered him at Bob Jones High School, and he's kind of bounced around. He's played some tight end. He's done some different things and weren't sure where he would end up fitting in. But now he is a guy that is taking advantage of that extra year, and he's going to be the starting left guard. So I want to see how that looks. And J.C. Latham, the young sophomore right tackle. So I want to see what those guys are doing there. I'm very interested in Kobe Prentice. We got so spoiled a few years ago when these 3 freshmen showed up that all ended up being first-round draft picks, and did such a tremendous job. That doesn't happen. Alabama fans think it should happen every year, but that doesn't happen. But is Kobe Prentice in that mindset? Trayshawn Holden, is he a guy who had a very good summer camp? What does he look like? So I think those are some of the things that I'm looking forward to seeing. And Gibbs, Jahmyr Gibbs, like you said, he is not a real big guy, but he's a guy that will be used both in the passing game, and of course in the running game. So I want to see how they manage his carries and so on, with Jace McCullen as the clear number 2 now behind him. I think we'll see Rodell Williams as well. So I want to see how they manage that time. And then, of course, at defense, we all want to watch Will Anderson. We just want to see what Will Anderson can do. Yeah, I think that's going to be a very, very interesting thing. Dallas Turner coming off of the other side. I mean, what are you going to do? Slide your protection to Will Anderson? Okay, fine. Here comes Dallas Turner. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that goes. And the development of Eli Ricks, because this has been a weird one. Eli Ricks is not, he hasn't picked up the defense really quickly. He's been dinged up and so on. When he came over from LSU, the thought was that this was one of the top corners in the entire nation, not the SEC, but the entire nation. And right now he's fighting for playing time. So it'll be interesting, I think, to see what he does.
Awesome stuff, Thom. And again, Thom Abraham, he's the host of the Thom Abraham Show on ESPN 97.7 The Zone. And, hey, we got to do this again, man. Come on back next week or sometime soon. That's Thom Abraham. Hey, let me remind you guys that the Bama Insider Tailgate Show is presented by Tuscaloosa Hyundai, the Elantra, the Sinatra, an SUV like the Tucson. Tailgating doesn't get any better. The Bama Insider Tailgate Show rolls on. When we come back, we're going to talk some recruiting. Alabama always using these opportunities to bring those 4 and 5 stars to campus, and we'll tell you who they're going to be at least this time around and who to keep an eye on when we come back. More Bama Insider Tailgate Show coming up.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Touchdown! Hey guys, look at me. Now look at yourselves. I make the big plays and the big games. You don't. Yeah, you would have made All-State if Coach put you in. Keep telling that story, or you can actually play the game. The sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino puts you in the starting lineup. I'll still be making the plays, you'll be making the bets. And finally getting the sports glory you deserve. The sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. Play the game.
Celebrate the Tide's legacy of championships with Daniel A. Moore's latest creation, The Legacy Begins. A tribute to the 1926 Rose Bowl victory over Washington, putting Southern football on the map and establishing the unmatched legacy of Alabama's national titles. New Life Art is offering The Legacy Begins in a variety of formats that will fit any budget. Remember the Rose Bowl with these and other fine art gift items available now at danielmooreart.com or by calling 1-800-735-2787.
Cathead, the first legal distillery in the state of Mississippi. Founded in 2010 by friends and fellow Alabama grads Austin Evans and Richard Patrick to create small batch spirits that give the taste of the South with every sip. Best known for its flagship Cathead Vodka, Cathead Distillery produces 5 award-winning brands. Find out for yourself and pick some up for your next party or tailgate. CatheadDistillery.com.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You've heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Touchdown! Hey guys, look at me. Now look at yourselves. I make the big plays and the big games. You don't. Yeah, you would have made All-State if Coach put you in. Keep telling that story, or you can actually play the game. The sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino puts you in the starting lineup. I'll still be making the plays, you'll be making the bets. And finally getting the sports glory you deserve. The sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. Play the game.
It's Bulls on the Beach time at the world-famous Flora-Bama. Every September, the Flora-Bama welcomes professional bull riders from across the country with one goal in mind: staying on the back of a 2,000-pound bull for 8 seconds.
We've got a qualified bull ride.
It's 3 big nights of adrenaline-filled excitement, September 8th through the 10th. Single night tickets are available now, but hurry, this event sells out every year. It's Bulls on the Beach time at the world-famous Flora-Bama. Get your Bulls on the Beach tickets now at florabama.com.
Autumn brings vivid colors to the back roads and hollows of Sevierville, Tennessee. Wind your way to quaint country churches, a historic covered bridge, and even a pick-your-own apple orchard. This fall, the best views are yours on Sevierville's Rocky Flats Fall Driving Tour. Learn more and find additional fall drives to enjoy at visitsevierville.com/fall.
Welcome back to the Bama Insider Tailgate Show as we talk to you from Innisfree here in Tuscaloosa. Alabama and Utah State kickoff at 6:30. Alabama, number 1 in the country, which is something that we seem to stay a lot these days. Our show is presented by Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Our buddy Barry Buckner is not only the guy that we deal with over at Tuscaloosa Hyundai, but he's also a fan of the show. Let's catch up with Barry real quick.
Every Tuscaloosa Hyundai is value priced, and Tuscaloosa Hyundai doesn't add the side sticker. Side stickers mean you pay thousands more. Everything is value priced at Tuscaloosa Hyundai. No additional dealer markups. It's just that simple. Every Tuscaloosa Hyundai is value priced. So if you're tired of getting stuck with side stickers, no additional markup is why you come to Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove.
All right, we talked to Andrew Bone, as we've done many years on the show, about recruiting. Let me remind you guys that are hanging out with us on the Bama Insider YouTube channel, now part of On 3. Like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, get in the comments section. If you're listening on radio, you need to check out the Bama Insider YouTube channel. And right now, you need to join Bama Insider, $1 for 12 months. Now that we're part of On 3, we want you guys to be part of it as well. All right, here he is, Andrew J. Bone, talking real estate later on, but talking recruiting right now. Bone, what does Alabama have going on recruiting-wise? Anyone coming in this weekend? And what should we expect here in the next week or so?
Well, there's always stuff going on in recruiting. Obviously, Alabama currently sits with the number one recruiting class in the country, 21 commitments, and it's been a pretty remarkable 2 months for Alabama on the recruiting side of things. Not only in the 2023 recruiting class, but also 2024. As they also have 3 commitments already in 2024, which is pretty remarkable. But this is another exciting weekend. It's it's the first home game. It's the season opener, man. It's going to bring in some kids, including Jalen Hill, a 4-star wide receiver out of Texas. Not only a 4-star, I mean, this is a top 100 type guy. One of the Alabama's premier wide receiver targets in this class. And I think with him coming off a visit to Tuscaloosa back in July, where Alabama seemed to really pick up some momentum with Jalen Hill. Prior to that visit, he was all Texas. I mean, this is a kid that lives in Texas, has been to Texas a bunch of times, and there's a lot of confident people in Texas that he's going to be signing with the Longhorns. But his visit to Alabama last month was or I guess 2 months ago now, was really good. He had a great time in Tuscaloosa, and now it's coming back this weekend. He's also going to be in Austin next weekend for that showdown between Alabama and Texas. So maybe next weekend determines what's going to happen, because he's going to make a decision on September the 22nd. So just a few weeks away, but he's going to see Alabama play twice before that happens. And they've got a really good chance to not only make a strong impression on him this week, but could potentially make a really strong impression on him next week as they go out to Austin. So we'll see what happens, but I think Alabama's going to have a really good chance to get Jalen Hill. Now, it's Utah State, and I'm not trying to take anything away from the Aggies, but this doesn't really necessarily bring in all the 5-star recruits. We're going to see all those guys a little bit more next month when Texas A&M rolls into town. But we're still going to see a lot of Alabama commitments that are going to be on campus, including Tony Mitchell, 5-star defensive back out of Thompson High School. Ty Lockwood, 4-star tight end commitment out of Tennessee. He's going to be making his way back to Tuscaloosa. Also, Justin Jefferson, the top inside linebacker in junior college, actually the number 2 overall player in junior college, behind another Alabama commitment, Malik Benson. He's going to be in Tuscaloosa on Saturday for the game. But we're going to see a lot of commitments. A lot of underclassmen are also going to be in Tuscaloosa. One really intriguing prospect that I like a lot is Daniel Hill. He's a 6'1", 6'2", 230-pound running back from Meridian High School over in Mississippi. This is going to be his 3rd visit to Alabama since, I guess it was June. I was about to say January, but since June. This is one of Alabama's top targets overall in the 2024 recruiting class. So he's going to be making a trip over to Alabama this weekend. Mason Short, who's a big offensive lineman out of Georgia, who's in the 2025 recruiting class, already has an offer from Alabama. He's going to be on campus along with Daniel Calhoun, who is in that 2024 class as an offensive lineman. Those are kind of the big name uncommitted guys who are going to be in Tuscaloosa that Alabama has already extended offers to, that they have already prioritized. We always talk about guys who have offers, but who has an offer to actually commit? And all these guys, certainly do. So good to get these guys early on campus early in the season. It's also good to get them on campus because you don't have 150, 200 recruits in town. So you can spend a little bit more time with those guys, especially Jalen Hill being the only official visitor on campus this weekend. You're going to have a chance to really spend a lot of one-on-one time with them. I mean, Coach Saban, every single Sunday during official visits, recruits go to his house. They do brunch. They go down by the water. They ride. Everybody always calls them go-karts, but they're gators, and hang out down by the lake. They shoot hoops. it's just going to be Coach Saban and Miss Terry and Jalen Hell and his family. So you can imagine, what that's going to be like for the Hells during this weekend. And there's no better closer in the country than Coach Saban. So I'm sure he's really anxious to spend a lot of time with Jalen Hell this weekend.
Bone, quickly tell us about this class. Alabama has the #1 class in the country right now of committed players, and it just seems to keep getting bigger and better.
Yeah, I think offensive wise, it's a great class. I mean, with 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 5 offensive linemen, a tight end. I mean, they've really hit their needs on the offense side of the ball. I still think there's obviously with Jalen Hill coming in, you can still add 1 more wide receiver to the group, but the biggest focus right now is probably on the defense side of the ball. Still trying to recruit some defensive linemen, still going after some linebackers. They've got some great defensive backs coming. I mean, they have 3 5-star defensive back commitments with Jahil Hurley, Tony Mitchell, and the #1 safety in the country, Caleb Downs. I mean, that is doing some absolute work on the recruiting trail for the Crimson Tide. Still going after at least 1 more cornerback in this class, but they're going to have a chance to really close strong over the course of the next few months. They have the top recruiting class in the country right now, but it's got a chance to get even better, and I certainly predict it will.
He's Andrew Bone. You know him from Bama Insider, now part of On3, but you also know him as a realtor and the man behind Andrew J. Bone Real Estate. Bone, tell us what you got going on for anyone that's listening right now in the Birmingham area, Tuscaloosa, coming into the area. Maybe you're listening on one of our affiliates and you need a realtor. Bone could talk to you about Alabama recruiting and find your house.
Absolutely. It's funny. We have people who call our real estate office asking to talk to me for recruiting questions. So don't call me. You can call me, but also call me for your real estate needs. But yeah, we have offices in Tuscaloosa and Birmingham. So if you're looking to buy or sell property, whether that's a home, a lot, be sure to give us a call because we are constantly staying busy. You want a game day condo? Call us today. We can set you up right near Bryant-Denny Stadium. And if you're looking for a rental house, we can also help you out there as well. So be sure to call us, Andrew J. Bone Real Estate Group. Our phone number is 205-501-5577. So give us a call today.
Bone, always great to talk to you, and we'll do it again next week. Roll Tide, my friend.
Roll Tide. Thanks a lot, Nick.
That's Andrew Bone as we talk recruiting here on the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. Let me tell you guys, as I show you a shot, if you're watching, of the bar here at Innisfree about our new partner, Cathead. Cathead, the first legal distillery in the state of Mississippi, and it was founded in 2010 by 2 Alabama grads, Austin Evans and Richard Patrick, to create small batch spirits that give a taste to the South with every sip. I love the idea, right? Best known for its flagship Cathead vodka, Cathead Distillery produces 5 award-winning brands today, including Bristow Gin, Hoodoo Chicory Liquor, Old Soul Bourbon Whiskey, and Cathead Sparkling Canned Cocktails. Find out for yourself and pick them up for your next party or tailgate, CatheadDistillery.com. That does it for the first hour of the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. We got a whole nother hour coming up. We're going to see what's going on in Tuscaloosa. We've got Clint Lamb to come on and join Kyle and I, pick a couple of games. We're going to get you ready for Alabama and Utah State. Don't go anywhere. More of the Bama Insider Tailgate Show coming up.
Tuscaloosa is Alabama's ultimate sports destination and a place for outdoor enthusiasts to thrive. It's a community rooted in history and one that's on the cusp of a burgeoning art scene too. Tuscaloosa is vibrant, it's charming, and it's familiar. Its people welcome you with open arms and warm hellos into a community that's tied together. Tuscaloosa is our home.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
R&R Cigars invites you to the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa, or the newest location in Northport in the Winn-Dixie Shopping Center. Now 2 awesome locations serving Tuscaloosa and Northport. The best cigar selection and bourbon in the Southeast awaits you. R&R Cigar is your home for all sports. Outsource your man cave to R&R. Get a cigar in Yingling for $10 when you tell them Mick sent you. 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, near Home 2 Suites, or Northport, next to Winn-Dixie. TheCigarMansion.com.
Touchdown! Hey guys, look at me. Now look at yourselves. I make the big plays and the big games. You don't. Yeah, you would have made All-State if Coach put you in. Keep telling that story, or you can actually play the game. The sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino puts you in the starting lineup. I'll still be making the plays. You'll be making the bets. And finally getting the sports glory you deserve. The sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. Play the game.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Autumn brings vivid colors to the back roads and hollows of Sevierville, Tennessee. Wind your way to quaint country churches, a historic covered bridge, and even a pick-your-own apple orchard. This fall, the best views are yours on Sevierville's Rocky Flats Fall Driving Tour. Learn more and find additional fall drives to enjoy at visitsevierville.com/fall.
Cathead, the first legal distillery in the state of Mississippi. Founded in 2010 by friends and fellow Alabama grads Austin Evans and Richard Patrick to create small batch spirits that give the taste of the South with every sip. Best known for its flagship Cathead Vodka, Cathead Distillery produces 5 award-winning brands. Find out for yourself and pick some up for your next party or tailgate. CatheadDistillery.com.
Hi, Barry Buckner for Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Every Tuscaloosa Hyundai is value priced, and Tuscaloosa Hyundai doesn't add the side sticker. Side stickers mean you pay thousands more. Everything is value priced at Tuscaloosa Hyundai. No additional dealer markups. It's just that simple. So if you're tired of getting stuck with side stickers, no additional markup is why you come to Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove.
All right, welcome back to the Bama Insider Tailgate Show, hanging out with you on an Alabama Saturday, getting ready for the Crimson Tide to take on Utah State, hanging out here in Tuscaloosa at Innisfree on the Strip. Let me remind you guys that our show is brought to you by Yingling Lager, America's oldest brewery, and our remote today is presented by Screwball, the original peanut butter whiskey. It's great to have Stan Adams with us from Visit Tuscaloosa.com. So much going on here in town. I love it when we catch up because we talk a lot of football, but it was you guys that kind of made headlines with one of your NIL deals. We're going to play that in a second, but as you guys hang out with us on the Bama Insider YouTube channel, hit us up in the comment sections, like and subscribe, and be part of Bama Insider. Right now, you can join $1 for 12 months of BamaInsider.com now that we're part of On3. All right, Stan, how you been? Are you ready for football? You got Nick Saban on your shirt.
Of course, I got a little Nick Saban action going here. You can't really see it, but yeah, definitely. It's kind of, since me and my fiance and my brother, we actually went up to the national championship game last year in Indianapolis. So we've been chomping at the bit for this. It couldn't come soon enough.
Yeah, this is a really good team.
It is. I think it's me and my buddies talking about. I think this might be the deepest team that Coach Saban's had since he's been here. So we'll see how that kind of goes for us. But, we got to play the games, as he went off yesterday talking about it. We're not going to project. We're going to go game by game.
Well, Visit Tuscaloosa. You guys are known for the Tuscaloosa Farmers Market, the Tuscaloosa Civil Rights Trail, the Tuscaloosa Amphitheater, Druid City Music Hall, and then this NIL deal that you guys just throw out the other day, and it caught fire on the net. We've enjoyed looking at this. So let's watch it and let everyone see what's going on here, and then you tell me how this happens.
All right.
What's up, Tide fans? Welcome to Tuscaloosa, Alabama's ultimate sports destination, also known as the best place in the country. I'm Terry Arnold, here with my teammate Ja'Cory Brooks, also known as C7.
What's good, man? Whether you're here for game day, weekend, or just in town for fun, it's a lot to do. It's a lot going on.
You can go to the lakes, you can hike, or enjoy the nightlife concerts.
Yeah, what he said. While you're here, be sure to check out my favorite spots, Remy Jimmer, the Riverwalk, and Catch a Ticket.
Don't forget about our barbecue. Dreamland, Archibald's, Thomas Rib Shack. Some ribs sound good right now, no cap. Don't forget to mention us in the comments and tell us what y'all love about Tuscaloosa. Matter of fact, while we here, we might as well get some food.
Well, you guys rebranded from Tuscaloosa Sports and Tourism to Visit Tuscaloosa, and then you throw that video on us, and I guess we're laughing. I loved it.
Well, hey, it was a good groundbreaker for us. Yeah, it's a little, get you tongue-tied saying Tuscaloosa Tourism and Sports so often, so it kind of works out. Visit Tuscaloosa rolls off the tongue a little better. Our new CEO, Kelsey, she's got a marketing background. She's doing a great job with us, so that was kind of her idea was, all right, let's kind of break out this new brand with this. And so I've been on the NIL train for a while. My old boss, Don Staley, love you to death. He retired. He kind of gave us the first year. I was like, let's just jump into it. We had Brian Robinson, from Tuscaloosa. We don't have too many Tuscaloosa kids. And he was like, let's kind of see how the market plays out. And then Bryce's deal came out for $1 million. He was like, that's why we stayed out of it. So we kind of waited for stuff to kind of get a little more organized. Cole Price and Trip Powell over at High Tide Traditions, I've got a good relationship with them. So it's kind of started off from there, kind of see what can work for us. But Kelsey kind of didn't know who the two guys were that she had. And she kind of gave me a little choice of who we could choose from. I was like, well, get Ja'Cory for sure. Like he called the, touchdown in the Iron Bowl to send us to overtime. That's a big deal. Now, granted, I knew Terry Arnold was a big recruit. Did I know he was going to start? No, but I'd like to say I told Kelsey that I was like, I got you a good deal. I'm glad we chose him. So it worked out, and man, it couldn't be any better. And we've got a couple more videos we're going to slowly release here in the next couple months.
That's cool. And look, Don Staley, I used to broadcast games when I was a student at Alabama, and he was the soccer coach. I love him. He's one of the best guys ever. And then Kelsey's kind of been the perfect successor to Don. But Don, shout out to you, my man. We miss you up here in Tuscaloosa, and Kelsey has been fantastic. Fun to work for her, and I kind of has these big ideas, and I think they're going to really pay off for the city.
Oh, for sure, and we're already seeing it. I love Dawn to death. Dawn, like I said, it was passing the torch. It couldn't have been more seamless. She knew our organization. She came in about a year ago, kind of understood what Dawn had and kind of built upon that, not trying to reinvent the wheel. And she's more kind of data-driven and marketing-driven. That's kind of the way we're going. So it's been fantastic, and it's exciting, as you can see from our NIL deals, and we've got a lot more stuff coming.
He's Stan Adams from visittuscaloosa.com. I'm Mick Gillispie as we hang out with you here on the Bama Insider Tailgate Show, talking Alabama and Utah State. All right, one thing I got to bring up is the Deontay Wilder statue. You guys are behind that, the former heavyweight champ. I've interviewed him before. I think he's awesome. I'm a huge fan. One of my best friends is a boxing expert from New York City. And he said that so many things could have gone wrong with the Deontay Wilder statue, but these guys nailed it.
There was a long process behind that. We were going to get it put up before COVID. It got put off. Was going to get bronzed over in Italy, and then COVID hit. It got stuck over there for about a year. And there was a whole process. Do we put the belt on him? Do we not? It went back and forth. So it was about a 2.5-year process with it, but it could not have gone any better. The statue's out in front of our office over there off Jack Warner Parkway on the Riverwalk. And it looks fantastic. I see people all the time. I'll go out when I come into the office, leave the office. People are taking pictures with him. But it was cool to have him there for the reveal. And he was pretty energized. And obviously he kind of alluded that he was going to go fight again. And obviously he is. So it's been a pretty big deal for us.
Look, I think he'll be heavyweight champ again. And Tyson Fury said the same thing after their last fight. Wish it would have turned out better for Deontay, but he's still awesome. And it's so great to have a real heavyweight champ that lives here. And I can't wait to watch his rise back up to the top. All right, let's talk about the things that you guys have going on in Tuscaloosa. The Tuscaloosa Gauntlet event at Sokol Park's coming up. What is that?
So for us, this kind of was Lee Busby, one of our city councilmen. He's a part of the Alabama Marines Foundation. He came to me back in about 2020 at the back end of 2020 and was like, hey, I can build this Marine obstacle course can you do anything tourism-wise with it? I was like, do you know what Tough Mudder is? We can definitely do that. So that was kind of how it started. So last April was our first attempt at it. It was about 3.5 miles through Sokol Park. We had about 15 obstacles. We had about 350 people run in the first year. But for an endurance course event, that's pretty dang good. So we're shooting for 500 plus. It'll be April 1st in the next year too. But just kind of unique events. That's what we're trying to do. Bring in unique events that kind of grab your eye, kind of grab your attention to come to Tuscaloosa.
All right, last one I'm going to ask you about before we move on on the show. But great to have you, Stan. You and I should just do our own show.
Appreciate it.
LPGA Epson Tour event at Old Colony. That's a pretty big deal for Tuscaloosa.
That is a massive deal. It'll be the first professional golf tournament in Tuscaloosa. I went and got that almost a year ago at a conference. But yeah, it'll be 108 female professional golfers coming to Old Colony April 29th through October 2nd. Huge exposure for us. We'll be on the Golf Channel. All these girls are from all around the country. I think it's like 36 different countries represented. So we'll be able to be, I know we're known for football here and we get that in America, but we'll be in Taiwan, we'll be in Singapore, we'll be in all these different places that we've never been able to break our brand in. So huge deal for us. And then having just 108 professional golfers in town will be great. And then also just showing off what Old Colony has. They put $1 million into renovations, and that was kind of what the goal was, to really market what Old Colony is doing. So that'll be here before we know it, and it'll be a great time for us.
All right, prediction on tomorrow's game.
56-10. I'll give them 10.
Yeah, I love it. Stan Adams from visittuscaloosa.com hanging out with us here on the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. Let me remind you guys that coming up next is Chris Hopwood with Pearl River Resort, and then Clint Lamb and Kyle Henderson rejoin the show. We're going to pick some games. Then we're going to talk Alabama football, and we want you guys to be here, part of it. Also, like and subscribe. And don't forget, Bama Insider will be covering the football game tomorrow. The postgame show comes on the Bama Insider YouTube channel right after Alabama and Utah State. And if it turns into a game like Stan's predicting, we'll be on in the fourth quarter. We're not even going to wait until the end of the game. More Bama Insider Tailgate Show with Chris Hopwood from Pearl River Resort coming up next.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Celebrate the Tide's legacy of championships with Daniel A. Moore's latest creation, The Legacy Begins. A tribute to the 1926 Rose Bowl victory over Washington, putting Southern football on the map and establishing the unmatched legacy of Alabama's national titles. New Life Art is offering The Legacy Begins in a variety of formats that will fit any budget. Remember the Rose Bowl with these and other fine art gift items available now at danielmooreart.com or by calling 1-800-735-2787.
Tuscaloosa is Alabama's ultimate sports destination and a place for outdoor enthusiasts to thrive. It's a community rooted in history and one that's on the cusp of a burgeoning art scene too. Tuscaloosa is vibrant, it's charming, and it's familiar. Its people welcome you with open arms and warm hellos into a community that's tied together. Tuscaloosa is our home.
Touchdown! Hey guys, look at me. Now look at yourselves. I make the big plays and the big games. You don't. Yeah, you would have made All-State if Coach put you in. Keep telling that story, or you can actually play the game. The sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino puts you in the starting lineup. I'll still be making the plays. You'll be making the bets. And finally getting the sports glory you deserve. The sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. Play the game.
It's Bulls on the Beach time at the world-famous Flora-Bama. Every September, the Flora-Bama welcomes professional bull riders from across the country with one goal in mind: staying on the back of a 2,000-pound bull for 8 seconds.
We've got to qualify for a ride.
It's 3 big nights of adrenaline-filled excitement, September 8th through the 10th. Single-night tickets are available now, but hurry, this event sells out every year. It's Bulls on the Beach time at the world-famous Flora-Bama. Get your Bulls on the Beach tickets now at florabama.com.
There's a new place where thrill meets chill, where the fun is always tropical cool, inside and out. The park at OWA is now Tropic Falls Theme Park, joined by the all-new indoor water park now open. Come to OWA and experience Tropic Falls. It's like nothing you've ever seen, with 23 theme park rides and 11 new indoor water park slides, complete with lazy river and arcade. All at Tropic Falls, only at OWA Parks and Resorts. Buy your tickets online and save at visitowa.com.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You've heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Do you consider yourself a black sheep, misfit, or screwball? If so, we've got the perfect drink for you. Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Screwball combines 2 of America's favorite, peanut butter and whiskey. Enjoy it neat, on the rocks, or in your favorite cocktail. Screwball, the original most awarded peanut butter whiskey, is now available near you. Go to screwballwhiskey.com for more information. Enjoy responsibly.
Advertisement by Screwball Spirits, LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
On the Bama Insider Tailgate Show, hanging out as we move into our pick segment and here for kind of a special opening day preview of what we got going on at our partner here in Philadelphia, Mississippi, Pearl River Resort. This is Chris Hopwood, who's the director of the sports book. And Chris, before I say anything else, football's back. And I got to tell you that you guys did a fantastic job with this promo. I just want to watch it again so I can laugh. But once we get back, we're going to talk about everything going on here at the Timeout Sports Lounge.
Touchdown! Hey, guys, look at me. Now look at yourselves. I make the big plays and the big games. You don't. Yeah, you would have made All-State if Coach put you in. Keep telling that story, or you can actually play the game. The sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino puts you in the starting lineup. I'll still be making the plays, you'll be making the bets, and finally getting the sports glory you deserve. The sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. Play the game.
Mick Gillispie with Chris Hopwood. There's your commercial, and we got football back. So, as we get into our pick segment, I just kind of wanted to bring you on to preview everything that we have going on with opening day today and everything that happens on a Saturday with college football here at the casino.
Yeah, so we got actually a little taste of football last week, but like you said, this is the big weekend. Everything's going to be crazy going on today and all the way through Monday with that Monday night game that we have going on. I believe it's Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson and Georgia Tech, right?
Right.
And then, but you also have Florida State's playing LSU. I mean, there's a lot of really good football games that are happening, and there's a buzz here in the Timeout Sports Lounge. I've watched, Deontay Wilder heavyweight championship fights here. Alabama football is always great here. Mississippi State and Ole Miss are popular. LSU. So you guys do it all here at the Timeout Sports Lounge. And what I love is that if you need some help, you have 3 retail stations. But if you don't, if you kind of want to do your own thing, you got 5 kiosks and then 10 VIP terminals. What are the difference between those?
Well, the VIP terminals, they have their own TVs on them. You can watch games on those or make your bets while you're watching the games. They have it's kind of like your own little station, almost like a slot machine would be. And then, of course, the stand-up terminals that we have are basically for quick bets. Get in and get out, make whatever you have, and then you can move on and watch the games. Makes it more fun. And then, of course, we still have our PRR app that you can bet on. Instead of having to stand in lines or wait for the machine to open up, you can just sit down or be in your rooms or be at a table and just make bets on all the games.
Yeah, that's cool. If you're here at Pearl River Resort, which from Tuscaloosa is, an hour and a half drive, and a lot of people listening across the state, they want that Vegas-style experience, which is something that you guys offer, so you don't have to fly all the way out to Las Vegas to really get the feel of what it's like in a sports book. You can gamble here and win here.
Yeah, I mean, we do everything that Las Vegas does. So every bet that they take, we take that here. Of course, we're always trying to expand our content that is available to customers. It's going to be fun. I mean, I'm ready for football. this season for baseball, I mean, I love baseball. It's one of my favorite sports, but the summertime was a little slow this year because last year we had the NBA running through with COVID and everything going on. But now it's just football season, and we're all getting all amped up for that, like you said. Looking forward to our Alabama fans to come over here because we always have a great Alabama crowd that comes and loves to watch the games. And like you said, our Mississippi schools are great. We have 2 high-profile coaches that are out there that are very entertaining to watch and great football teams.
Yeah, right. Mike Leach and Lane Kiffin and then Nick Saban. And there's a lot to talk about and a lot of fun to be had over here at Pearl River Resort. And it is great, again, to be here just for this one segment. We're going to be right back at Innisfree with the magic of technology. But right now we're talking about everything that's going on into the season as far as gambling and the fact that you can come over here and, and play and put your bets in. So you got college football, which is what we're psyched up about. You got baseball, the U.S. Open, anything worldwide, which you were making me laugh about this. Look, we're talking college football, but you got Japanese soccer. And
we have Japanese baseball. We take, of course, all the European soccer along with the Mexico and U.S. soccer leagues. And it's just fun because like we said, anything that bet in Vegas, we can bet here. It makes things – customers can find something they like. We were talking about NASCAR. I mean, I've always loved NASCAR when I was living in Vegas, and it's now that you're down in the South in this area. I mean, of course, you guys have your track in Talladega, which one of these days I want to get out there and visit. But the sports, they're available. I mean, we have the Tour Championships just ended. There's other golf worldwide that we take with the European golf tours, the Live Golf Tour that's out there now, and it just makes it exciting there's something that someone has to want to bet.
Yeah, right. I love betting NASCAR. It just makes that, that 3 hours so enjoyable, because you put money down on a couple drivers, and if you hit, you win big. It's almost like a parlay when you bet those guys.
Well, and there's other things to bet too. Like we have group matchups where it's just 4 drivers and you just have to win that group instead of having to actually win the race itself. So there's other things to bet, top 5s, top 10s. So there's other props available besides just winning the race.
He's Chris Hopwood. He's the director of the sportsbook here at Pearl River Resort in the Timeout Sports Lounge, and he's hanging out with us on the BamaInsider Tailgate show. All right, let's talk about prop bets. You have some available, and that's also something that you guys are expanding.
Yeah, we're always trying to expand the content for the customers, and because, of course, when a sport is coming live, it's when all the craziness happens. So it's like we're having to rush to try to get some of these things available right now for this weekend coming up, and hopefully we'll keep expanding it as the season goes on.
Well, it'll be fun. I like those. I like betting, too, futures. Those are fun. Hey, who's going to win the national championship? Probably not good money to put Alabama there in that spot, no. Right? But if you took Tennessee and they won, you'd win big. So that's also something that is a lot of fun when it comes to placing wagers. And you guys are trying to throw the net out and say, hey, guys, gals, you like to golf. You got one of the best golf courses in Mississippi. It's known as the Augusta that you can play, right? Dancing Rabbit here at Pearl River Resort on campus. And if you bet $50, which, I mean, that's not a very big bet, you can play that golf course for $30. And this is something that you guys are going to run starting today all the way through March Madness. Yeah, we always run it through the championship game of March Madness tournament, so it ends early April with this price. And like you said, we do have the Augusta you can play here in Mississippi, but we also have our other course too. So there's 2 golf courses out there that are both beautiful courses to play on, and like you said, they're some of the best courses in Mississippi. Other things you got going on as well, you got a poker tournament, the Millie and Philly. Correct. So that starts September 8th through the 19th, and it's 10 days, and it's perfect timing with the NFL starting up and college football live. So get everyone to come down here, play a little poker, and then again, they can bet on the app and while they're playing poker, and all come in here and stop and watch the game. They have TV set up in the area so they can actually watch the games in there while they're playing the tournament. Nice. And then also concerts. I saw Whitesnake here. You had Poison here, and then you got Tesla coming in here. So for us fans of 80s and 90s music, it's a lot of fun concerts. Yeah, they have different concerts going on here. You can check our website out, pearlriverresort.com, and they usually post all the events that are coming up with the different concerts that are available. I mean, like you said, the Whitesnake and then Poison, and it was a great concert. That was very entertaining for everyone here. We're going to pick some games, but let me remind you guys as we kind of transfer over into picking games that the
Bama Insider Tailgate Show is brought to you by Pro Resort and Casino here in Choctaw, and it's always a great time to make your picks count right here at the Timeout Sports Lounge. It's located at Golden Moon Hotel and Casino, and it offers traditional sports betting in which guests can bet on all professional leagues, as Chris just mentioned, and major college sporting events as well. Bet your favorite teams and catch the games from the comfort of your room if you have the app, or this beautiful facility here which was remodeled. You got all the kiosks and the stations and the terminals to make that easy as well. But 20 TVs with all the major sporting events on them, and then the state-of-the-art wager boards which list the games. And then when you get those wager stations, they actually have a TV on it. You can watch the games and kind of be all by yourself, kind of focused on what you're doing. But Chris, always great to see you. And we'll talk to you again real soon down the line.
All right, thanks for having me.
That's Chris Hopwood. He's the director of Sportsbook here at Pearl River Resort. All right, hanging out with Kyle Henderson. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. We're back live at Innisfree in Tuscaloosa. Kyle, let's pick some games.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about some of these big games. Utah at Florida. You just heard how you could go to Pearl River and bet, but just for fun, your thoughts on this. This is the big team out of the Pac-12 minus their two best teams.
Yeah, I think when you look at this game, and I like Florida. I mean, going down to Gainesville is tough for anybody, right? I think that, I think with Florida has that home field advantage. I mean, it was even tough for Alabama last year, right? So you look at that. I know Utah is tough, but 3 points, I think I like the Gators down in the swamp.
I guess I'm on the other side of things. I think Utah is going to be really physical. I think they're going to run the ball. Florida hasn't lost a home opener in forever, right? I mean, they got this crazy streak, but they also haven't had the type of competition that they're playing right now. All right, let's bring Clint Lamb on too, so he can get a little bit of this taste of what we're looking at right now. What's up, Clint? Welcome to Innisfree here in Tuscaloosa.
What's up, fellas? Y'all having fun?
What's up, Clint? Yeah.
We're having a great time. Look, I brought you in a little early because we're talking about some of these games. I want to get your taste on it. The first game, Florida, Utah. Florida's getting 3 at home. Your thoughts?
Oh, man. I think Utah's got the kind of team that can go on the road because they're returning so much, quarterback, running back. They've got that tight end duo with Dalton Kincaid and Brandon Kuth. Offensive line, a lot of starts returning. I think they're in good shape. If there was a team that could come in and, go to the swamp and actually have success, I think it would be a Utah-style team because they have so much returning and they've kind of been there, done that. It is on the other side of the country, though, right? I mean, that's a long way to travel. The swamp in September and early September, I don't know if those Utah boys are used to that kind of, those kind of weather conditions. So that's tough, man. I could easily see Florida pulling an upset. To me, the team in the East that is very difficult to predict is Florida, and the team in the West that's difficult to predict. Actually, there's multiple, but I would say LSU for me is probably the most difficult. I could see them being, finishing second in the West, or I could see them finishing fourth or even fifth. So it's really, this is a great barometer to see exactly how good Florida is, but I still would lean towards Utah because I've got them as a strong playoff contender, but I wouldn't be shocked at all if they ended up going on the road to the swamp and coming out with a victory.
All right, guys, quickly, let's do another SEC game. Memphis at Mississippi State, Alabama's closest neighbor, 15.5 points for the Memphis team taking on the Bulldogs. I'll start with you, Kyle.
Oh, I love me some Pirate. I think Will Rogers and everything that Mississippi State brings to the table. I mean, I'm all about the Pirate during the SEC media days. He was talking about his favorite Netflix show. He's dialed in. I like Mississippi State. I'll take the points. I know Memphis is coming. I know they're quality, but look, I like the Pirate. Roll Bulldogs.
All right. How about you, Clint?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Mississippi State as well. And the reason being is when you look historically with Mike Leach and his success, he's always taken a year or two to really get things going. So if there's going to be a season when you've got a quarterback like Will Rogers, if you're going to compete in the SEC, you got to start at the quarterback position. You got to have one if you want to. And I think that Mississippi State does, and they got some complementary pieces. It takes a couple of years to kind of transition and get guys comfortable running that unorthodox offense that he likes to run. Defensively, I think they're going to be pretty decent. I have them finishing near the bottom in the SEC West, but that's mostly due to their schedule. But after what happened last season with Memphis, you would think, a revenge factor side of it, I would feel pretty confident that Mississippi State's going to roll on Saturday.
All right, 30 seconds or less each. Notre Dame at Ohio State, 17 points. 17 points, and they're number 5 in the country. Clint, tell me why Notre Dame's going to beat them down there at Ohio Stadium.
I can't, because I don't think that they are. I mean, that's the bottom line. I don't think that Notre Dame's secondary is going to be able to hang with those Ohio State receivers. They lost some guys, and they did bring in that, quality transfer safety. But I don't think that he's going to be enough. Cornerback play is just not there. Ohio State's got the best wide receiver group in the country. You got a quarterback that can get them the football, and I still think there's some question marks on defense that they got to work out. But I don't know that I would necessarily say that they win by 17. But if you made me decide one way or the other, I might give up the 17 points.
Kyle,
it's easy for me. Roll Buckeyes and Jigba. That guy's gonna go off. Powers Picks has him at 8 catches. He's gonna have like 12 or 15. Roll Buckeyes, roll.
All right, that was fun. We're going to talk about Alabama and Utah State when we come back. Let me tell all you guys this, though. Next Friday night, the show will be at the Floribama in Orange Beach, Perdido Key. Come hang out with us 6 to 8. You got live music daily at the Floribama on 3 stages, open from 11 a.m. to 3 a.m., the way that Chris, our producer, likes it. Free bingo Monday through Friday, 1 to 4. Come get your bushwhackers, top them off with a little screwball, but just know that there is a floater on there. Don't end up like I did years ago. Tons of TV for football watching as well. Floribama.com or Facebook for the Floribama. When we come back, Alabama and Utah State, the matchup, we're going to get into it right here on the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. Don't go anywhere.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager, a medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer, made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Hi, Barry Buckner for Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Every Tuscaloosa Hyundai is value priced, and Tuscaloosa Hyundai doesn't add the side sticker. Side stickers mean you pay thousands more. Everything is value priced at Tuscaloosa Hyundai. No additional dealer markups. It's just that simple. So if you're tired of getting stuck with side stickers, no additional markup is why you come to Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyline and Hargrove.
Celebrate the Tide's legacy of championships with Daniel A. Moore's latest creation, The Legacy Begins. A tribute to the 1926 Rose Bowl victory over Washington, putting Southern football on the map and establishing the unmatched legacy of Alabama's national titles. New Life Art is offering The Legacy Begins in a variety of formats that will fit any budget. Remember the Rose Bowl with these and other fine art gift items available now at danielmooreart.com or by calling 1-800-735-2787.
R&R Cigars invites you to the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa, or the newest location in Northport in the Winn-Dixie Shopping Center. Now 2 awesome locations serving Tuscaloosa and Northport. The best cigar selection and bourbon in the Southeast awaits you. R&R Cigar is your home for all sports. Outsource your man cave to R&R. Get a cigar in Yingling for $10 when you tell them Mick sent you. 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa near Home 2 Suites, or Northport next to Winn-Dixie. TheCigarMansion.com.
Touchdown! Hey guys, look at me. Now look at yourselves. I make the big plays and the big games. You don't. Yeah, you would have made All-State if Coach put you in. Keep telling that story, or you can actually play the game. The sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino puts you in the starting lineup. I'll still be making the plays. You'll be making the bets. And finally getting the sports glory you deserve. The sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. Play the game.
There's a new place where thrill meets chill, where the fun is always tropical cool, inside and out. The park at OWA is now Tropic Falls Theme Park, joined by the all-new indoor water park now open. Come to OWA and experience Tropic Falls. It's like nothing you've ever seen, with 23 theme park rides and 11 new indoor water park slides, complete with lazy river and arcade. All at Tropic Falls, only at OWA Parks and Resorts. Buy your tickets online and save at visitowa.com.
Do you consider yourself a black sheep, misfit, or screwball? If so, we've got the perfect drink for you. Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Screwball combines two of America's favorite, peanut butter and whiskey. Enjoy it neat, on the rocks, or in your favorite cocktail. Screwball, the original most awarded peanut butter whiskey, is now available near you. Go to screwballwhiskey.com for more information. Enjoy responsibly.
Advertisement by Screwball Spirits LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
Autumn brings vivid colors to the back roads and hollows of Sevierville, Tennessee. Wind your way to quaint country churches, a historic covered bridge, and even a pick-your-own apple orchard. This fall, the best views are yours on Sevierville's Rocky Flats Fall Driving Tour. Learn more and find additional fall drives to enjoy at visitsevierville.com/fall.
Welcome back to the Bama Insider Tailgate Show, kicking it from Innisfree and Tuscaloosa, getting you ready for Alabama and Utah State. And we're having a great time, and we invite you guys to join us on Bama Insider now that we're part of On 3. On 3, you need to be part of it too. $1 gets you an entire year of On 3. BamaInsider.com. Just go check it out. Do it for yourself. Like and subscribe if you're hanging out with us on the YouTube channel. And if you're listening on radio, hey, roll tide, everybody. Thanks for being part of our show. This segment is presented by R&R Cigars. They invite you to come down to the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa or the newest location in Northport. 2 locations serving Tuscaloosa and Northport. Best cigar selection and bourbon selection in the Southeast awaits you. R&R Cigar is your home for all sports. Outsource your man cave to R&R, 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, or in Northport. Cigar, it's thecigarmansion.com. That's the website. All right, look. Jay Barker, part of this show. He's not here tonight. He'll be here in the future. Jay and I do a show on Bama Insider, 2 o'clock every Tuesday and Thursday right now, Crimson Tide Headlines, right? And
I love that show.
Yeah, I had to throw that out there because Jay's my man.
That's a good show.
Clint Lamb and Kyle Henderson, and I'm Mick Gillispie. Now it's time to talk some football, boys. Some Alabama football. So let me get into this. Kyle, I'll start with you first, and then Clint, you jump in. Let's break down Utah State. 1-0. They beat UConn last week. Kyle, your thoughts, and then I'll swing it over to Clint.
Well, I gotta defend myself inside the comment box. Daniel, I see you, man. What's up with the backwards hat? I might look like I'm 15, man, but I am over 15, old enough to drink. So cheers to you, man. When we break down Utah State, when we're looking at Alabama, clearly Utah State is going to stretch the field. I think it is going to present some challenges for these corners, and I think that's a good thing. I think these corners need to be challenged early. When you look to Terrion Arnold, you got Kool-Aid McKinstry, guys who are younger. They need to be tested. They need to be tested early. I think that's something even Nick Saban was alluding to during the preseason going into this year of 2022 is, yeah, they got the defense coming back, but the corners need to be tested. So when I look to this game, I look to see how those younger corners respond, and I think it's a great opportunity for Terrion Arnold, for Kool-Aid to get better tomorrow.
Jump in, Clint. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm right there with Kyle. I really think that it's important to note that Utah State, in my opinion, I think they're a better football team than they showed last week against UConn. But what did allow them to be able to knock off the rust a little bit. Logan Bonner, I mean, he's not going to be a guy that's going to be overly mobile. He's not going to, get outside the pocket and make a lot happen outside of the pocket. But I mean, I think that he's got a pretty, he's got a good sized offensive line. I want to say they average like 6'5", around 310 pounds across the board, which is definitely, the kind of the size that you're looking for, when you're playing against a team like Alabama. And with Bonner, he's a guy that I think can attack all three levels of the field. Like Kyle said, I think he can test you vertically, but I also think that short to intermediate stuff, I mean, he throws with accuracy. He's got good mechanics, and he's a veteran guy. He's been here and he's done that, for several seasons. So, I will be curious to see how Alabama chooses to attack them, because you do have Calvin Tyler Jr., and you also have the freshman Robert Briggs as well. So they got a nice little 1-2 punch there at running back. How does Alabama elect to, deploy this personnel that they have? We're going to see a ton of Jaheim Otis, or do we see a little bit in week one? How much do they use Chris Braswell, right? Because we've been hearing about all these special packages where they get Chris Braswell, Will Anderson Jr., and Dallas Turner all on the field at the same time. Are we going to see that against Utah State? How often are we going to see it? Or do they decide to kind of hang on to it a little bit and wait around for Texas with Quinn Ewers? I could certainly see that happening as well. So I will be curious to see how Alabama attacks them with their defense. But then also, I think Alabama is going to have a lot of success running the football, whether it be Jahmyr Gibbs, Chase McClellan. I think you'll see a heavy dose of, at least their top three guys, maybe even Trey Sanders getting involved as well, because, that run defense is a little bit suspect. And, so I think that Alabama will have success running the football. They'll probably shorten the game, and I think they'll have a lot of success doing it. So this could be a statement game for Alabama's offensive line. It's not like we're going to walk away and say, wow, they looked incredible against Utah State. They're definitely winning the national championship. But with the way that they left kind of a sour taste in fans' mouths last year, I could definitely see, the offensive line kind of making this a statement game, saying, hey, we're back, and getting things rolling on, getting things off on the right foot.
All right, guys, Bryant-Denny Stadium, alcohol sales for the first time. Clint, you picking up the first round?
What? Hey, it's a limit to 2 alcohol drinks per transaction, so you can't buy for your friends. Apparently, I don't know where you guys are getting y'all's from, but I'm going two at a time here.
Double fisting.
That's there's only one way to do it, fellas, and that's the way to go. It is pretty cool though. It's different. Granted, I'm not going to be able to enjoy it because we're up in the press box and we're working, and we're not trying to booze and work at the same time. But for anybody that can enjoy it, I would certainly encourage it, because that's pretty cool.
Most likely Heisman campaign, Kyle: Bryce Young, Will Anderson, or Gibbs?
Oh my goodness! What's up, Sean from Huntsville inside the comment box? Oh man, I love Sean from Huntsville. He's one of the best callers. He's the GOAT. When you look at this trifecta of Heisman Trophy candidates, I mean, Bryce Young is certainly going to get his. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to do something special, and I think it's going to start tomorrow on Saturday with Gibbs just being able to run the football. And I think, like Clint alluded to, I think the fact that the offensive line really has a chip on their shoulder, and why wouldn't they? I think they're going to be able to showcase Jahmyr Gibbs' electric running ability and that speed. And then when you look to William Anderson, I mean, I'm so upset still. 17 and a half sacks, and he's not at the Heisman table. It was a travesty. You guys were wrong for not having William Anderson up there. He's back. The Terminator is coming for you. T2, T3, whatever you want to call it. William Anderson, the Terminator, is coming for you.
All right, Clint, any concerns today? Alabama and Utah State, any concerns?
I think that there's some questions, right? I mean, when you look at Alabama's receivers, we don't know what the pecking order is going to look like: snap share, target share, all those things. Cornerback, snap share, what do they look like? Are we going to see all 4 guys? That's something that I've talked about before. I do think that if Vegas is correct and Alabama does win pretty handedly, and it's like a first half domination kind of thing, I think you'll end up seeing all 4 guys, and I think it'll be a great, learning point or teaching point for the coaching staff to be able to go back and get film on all 4 of those guys and kind of see where they stand in that, room, because, guys have been banged up at various points throughout, whether it be, spring, summer, or fall camp. Now you've got all 4 of them healthy. What does it look like? So I wouldn't say that I'm concerned about anything for Alabama going in, but I do think that there are a lot of things worth watching. And like I said, wide receiver and cornerback are certainly 2 positions. The offensive line for me, I'm very much looking forward to seeing J.C. Latham play. I've heard he's taken a huge step forward, and I think he's going to look really good, but that's not going to be what I'm focusing on. I want to see how the left side of that offensive line does with Tyler Steen and Kendall Randolph, because that's the side that everybody's kind of, got question marks about. And for Randolph in particular, for one reason or another, fans just aren't sold or confident in his ability to step up as a 6-year senior and provide what he needs to provide for Alabama to take a big step forward with this offensive line. I don't necessarily agree with that. I've been wrong before, though. So that's kind of why we want to check out this offensive line on Saturday and see how a guy like Kendall Randolph's doing.
All right, guys, both of you quickly. If it gets out of hand, does Nick Saban bring in the second string, or is he going to stretch it out?
That's rat poison. That's rat poison, Mick. I think when you look to rat poison scenarios, Mick, okay, Nick Saban, you better not let him find out where you're staying. Hotel Indigo. Hotel Indigo. I think, yes, if it is a rat poison type game, you got to get Jalen Milroe in. You look to some of these other running backs, and I think you're going to see a dose of Jason McClellan, Roydell Williams, some of these younger wide receivers to get in. I'm curious to see who rotates within that defensive line. I think there's so many names that Coach Freddie Roach can rotate in. How about the inside linebacker play? I think the biggest storyline on the defense that nobody is talking about, I talked about it this morning, Jalen Moody. 55 games the kid has played in. He could have left. He could have transferred. Tomorrow, he'll get his first start in 55 games, talking about trusting the process. Jalen Moody, keep your eyes on him, applied when he gets out of the field.
Nope, I love it. I love it. All right, Clint, you hold your thoughts. Kyle, you do the same thing. We got one more break. Let me remind you guys, though, as we hang out here at Innisfree, whether you're at R&R Cigar, you're at Innisfree, you need to check out our new partner and one of the best, Cat Head. They're from Mississippi, founded by two Alabama grads, Austin Evans and Richard Patrick. Roll Tide to them for bringing the best tasting vodka to the South. Their flagship is the Cat Head vodka, but they've got a bunch of other really great flavors that'll make your tailgate fantastic, and some sparkling canned cocktails that'll be easy for a guy like me. When I'm busy, you just crack them open and roll. Let's roll to the final segment. Let's get this thing figured out. Alabama and Utah State. We're going to pick the game when we come back. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Touchdown! Hey guys, look at me. Now look at yourselves. I make the big plays and the big games. You don't. Yeah, you would have made All-State if Coach put you in. Keep telling that story, or you can actually play the game. The sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino puts you in the starting lineup. I'll still be making the plays, you'll be making the bets. And finally getting the sports glory you deserve. The sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. Play the game.
Hi, Barry Buckner for Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Every Tuscaloosa Hyundai is value price, and Tuscaloosa Hyundai doesn't add the side sticker. Side stickers mean you pay thousands more. Everything is value priced at Tuscaloosa Hyundai. No additional dealer markups. It's just that simple. So if you're tired of getting stuck with side stickers, no additional markup is why you come to Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyline and Hargrove.
Autumn brings vivid colors to the back roads and hollows of Sevierville, Tennessee. Wind your way to quaint country churches, a historic covered bridge, and even a pick-your-own apple orchard. This fall, the best views are yours on Sevierville's Rocky Flats Fall Driving Tour. Learn more and find additional fall drives to enjoy at visitsevierville.com/fall.
It's Bulls on the Beach time at the world-famous Floor Bama. Every September, the Floor Bama welcomes professional bull riders from across the country with one goal in mind: staying on the back of a 2,000-pound bull for 8 seconds.
We've got to qualify for a ride.
It's 3 big nights of adrenaline-filled excitement, September 8th through the 10th. Single-night tickets are available now, but hurry, this event sells out every year. It's Bulls on the Beach time at the world-famous Floor Bama. Get your Bulls on the Beach tickets now at floorbama.com.
Celebrate the Tide's legacy of championships with Daniel A. Moore's latest creation, The Legacy Begins. A tribute to the 1926 Rose Bowl victory over Washington, putting Southern football on the map and establishing the unmatched legacy of Alabama's national titles. New Life Art is offering The Legacy Begins in a variety of formats that will fit any budget. Remember the Rose Bowl with these and other fine art gift items available now at danielmooreart.com or by calling 1-800-735-2787.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You've heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Cathead, the first legal distillery in the state of Mississippi. Founded in 2010 by friends and fellow Alabama grads Austin Evans and Richard Patrick to create small batch spirits that give the taste of the South with every sip. Best known for its flagship Cathead Vodka, Cathead Distillery produces 5 award-winning brands. Find out for yourself and pick some up for your next party or tailgate. CatheadDistillery.com.
And we're back. Final segment of the BamaInsider Tailgate Show. And let me remind you guys that the show is brought to you by Yuengling Lager. Yuengling is a 6th-generation company, and Cheryl Yuengling, part of the company's ownership, is a proud Alabama grad. I know because I went to school with her. And she puts a little bit of crimson love in each one of these little green bottles. And if you're trying to lose weight, try Yuengling Flight. That's their low-carb beer. But great to have them part of the show again this year. And great to have you guys with us as well. Bama Insider YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. We see it in the comment section. If you're listening on radio, Roll Tide, Alabama. It's Alabama and Utah State. 6:30 kickoff. Bryant-Denny Stadium. He's Clint Lamb. He's Kyle Henderson. And there's Tripp Rogers from Innisfree sliding in here. He's got this is spot right here. You got to get in here, Tripp. It's that time again. And that's yours. That is for you to keep. This is what you miss, Clint, when you're not in the house with us.
You got to be
you miss this, what's coming right now.
You got to be here.
So you're going to have to come here.
Yeah, next week. It's happening. Got to. Well, week after.
All right, look. This is for Clint and everyone out there that's hanging out with us. And look at that. Look at that hat. I love it.
Phenomenal.
It's a screwball hat.
Free. If you guys are in town, come to the free. Have the shepherd's pie. Have the screwball shot. Tell Tripp, Kyle Henderson, of BamaInsider sent you.
It's what Tuscaloosa is all about. All right, Roll Tide, guys.
Roll Tide,
Alabama.
Roll Tide.
All right, this is what we do.
Oh, man. That is
so
delicious.
Good. It is fantastic. And you look great with that hat on. All right, what do you expect to see today? Kyle, you first with Tripp sitting next to you.
I mean, come on. I think that this team comes out, and I think it's every single thing that we thought the team was going to be. William Anderson on defense, I think, is going to have a phenomenal day. I think Bryce is going to do his thing. Gibbs is going to do his thing. Watch for the transfers to really make an impact. I think that this team is completely what we thought they were going to be. I mean, the leadership and the continuity is ready to go. I think it all starts on Saturday against Utah State.
All right, Tripp, you're hanging. What do you expect to see? Yeah, take Kyle's headsets. Clint, you're next.
Hey, I just want to welcome everybody from Utah State that's coming in. We got some customers in here today, which is awesome that they've made the travel here. But, it's going to be a great game. It's the first game we've had on Labor Day weekend, and I'm pretty sure about 20 years, which is going to be great. And it's great for the city of Tuscaloosa, to have everybody here on Labor Day weekend to show what Tuscaloosa is all about. And we're going to step it up tomorrow. I'll tell you what, from what I hear, our offense can't do anything during practice because our defense is insane, which is great to hear because it's like old school back in the day, back in the day, it was like
back in our day,
19 to 12 games, but it didn't matter. We knew we were going to win because of our defense. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same this year, but our offense is also going to be putting up 50 plus points, which is, who would have thought Alabama would have been putting 50-plus points up year after year after year.
I know. Insane, dude.
Which
Insane.
is great. But it's going to be a fun day tomorrow. Everyone will get to enjoy all day in Tuscaloosa tomorrow. It'll be fun.
Roll Tide. Good to see you, Trip.
Roll Tide.
Thanks for the shots. Yeah, we're taking. Clint, what do you think about the game?
Yeah, I think that it's going to be. I definitely think Alabama's going to roll. I don't necessarily know that they're going to cover that spread. 41.5 seems like a lot. I think Utah State probably puts up, maybe anywhere from 10 to 13 points. I could see Alabama scoring a lot in the first half. I like the first half over for Alabama. I want to say it's like 27 points. So I would probably take that over, and then I could see them, rolling out the second team and getting them some work. They might score a little bit, but I would probably see the dogs being called off at some point. And then also the fact that Alabama's, I think, is going to have a lot of success running the football. I could see the game being shortened. So I think Alabama's going to roll. I think they're going to win big, but I wouldn't necessarily give up the 41.5 points. I'd probably either leave it alone or take Utah State, but I don't think anybody's going to bet on Utah State that's listening to this. So we'll just say don't touch it.
Look, I hear you. And I'm going to throw it out there, too, with you, Clint, and with you, Kyle. I think Alabama's going to roll. I think the defense is going to be pretty tough. I think Utah State will be a little more focused against Alabama than they were against Connecticut, but it's really not going to matter. And that's not rat poison. I just think this defense is going to be really good. Look for 2 turnovers for touchdowns in the game.
Oh, I like stats. You know what?
Multiple.
I think that, Utah State running into a buzzsaw, honestly, at the wrong place, the wrong time. You catch Bryant Denny, 6:30. As soon as those lights turn on, you're going to see a completely different animal. I'm telling you, as soon as they added these lights to Bryant Denny Stadium, it became, honestly, the best atmosphere in all of college football. If you're around, go to the game. Make sure you support the Alabama Crimson Tide. I think you're right, Mick. I think this defense is certainly on a mission. I think that secondary, one player we haven't talked enough about, Clint, Jordan Battle, right? Jordan Battle is a first round type talent. Don't forget about Jordan Battle, DeMarco, the Hitman Helms, Kool-Aid, JaQuincy McKinstry, the Terminator, William Anderson. I mean, we need a nickname for Jaheim. Jaheim the Fridge Otis. How about that? Can we name him?
Look, it's time. You can have another fridge at this point.
Yeah. So,
William the Refrigerator Perry, move over.
Yeah.
We got a new one.
It's been time enough, right? Okay. All we got to do is get Coach Saban to give him the football and goal line situation. I'll talk to him.
All right, Kyle, final thoughts quickly.
Well, first of all, thank you to Trib at Innisfree and all the sponsors right here for making this possible. Thank you to you out there for listening, to supporting our website, Bama Insider. Definitely go check out the website. Alabama, I think, rolls big tomorrow on the first day of college football. Ohio State, Notre Dame. Keep an eye on Ohio State. I think Alabama and Ohio State certainly on a collision course. C.J. Stroud and Jigba, that's a loaded team along with Trayvon Henderson. And I think that Ohio State is certainly a team to watch. But I think Alabama, Utah, roll Tide.
Clint, final thoughts.
Yeah, I'm looking for Alabama to roll tomorrow, too. We've already talked about it, but I'm not going to lie, fellas. I'm a little jealous of you guys getting to hang out and throw back shots and, give out gear and just you guys look like you're having a blast. And I've never been one for FOMO, but I'm having a pretty severe case of FOMO right now. I might get in the car as soon as we hop off here and make my way to Tuscaloosa right now. Mick, as always, man, I appreciate you having me on here. Kyle, I guess we'll chit chat tomorrow, buddy.
Yeah, hey, loved hanging out with you, Clint. Obviously, Kyle's been on the show since we started. It's great to see him again. Chris Daltrey, our producer. We've had a great show. Thom Abraham from up north joined us. He's one of the best in the state. We talked to Chris Hopwood from Pearl River Resort. We had Stan Adams on from Visit Tuscaloosa, Trip from Innisfree, all of it getting you ready for Alabama and Utah 6:30 kickoff. Wherever you might be watching or listening, we really appreciate all of you guys for being part of our show. Don't forget, a couple of notes here. After the game, or if it is a blowout, during the fourth quarter at some point, on the Bama Insider YouTube channel, we'll go live with the post-game show. We'll take your calls. We'll talk about the game. We'll get Nick Saban's press conference. We'll go over all the stats. We'll have that on there as well. Anything going on, we'll cover that on the Bama Insider YouTube channel as soon as the game is over or it is out of hand. Next week, 6 o'clock. I'm sorry, Nick Saban. Next week, 6 o'clock on Friday, we'll be at the Floor Bama. Bulls at the Beach and our show. So if you're in Lower Alabama, LA, as Chris calls it, swing by and see us. That's our home for this show when the Alabama Crimson Tide are on the road. So we'll preview the Texas game as well, and we'll do it from down there. If you want to be part of this YouTube community, like, subscribe, give the thumbs up. Also hit the bell so you know anytime that we're live. If you're listening on radio, it's easy to do. Bama Insider, just put it in the search menu on YouTube. And if you want to be part of BamaInsider.com right now, it's $1 for a year because we're part of On 3. Yingling Lager, Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, Innisfree, thank you for hosting us. Really appreciate everyone else that made this show possible. Welcome to the team, Cathead, also Sevierville and R&R Cigars and Visit Tuscaloosa and the Floor Bama. OA, we're going to ride your roller coasters. We got so much going on, and we appreciate all of you guys for being a part of it. Alabama kicks off at 6:30 against Utah. Look for the Crimson Tide to win that game big. Appreciate everyone, and we'll talk to you again next Friday at 6 o'clock right here on the Bama Insider YouTube channel or across the state of Alabama. Roll Tide.